Review of Dracula, A Love Tale 2025. Oh dear, where does one even begin with this utterly misguided new Dracula film? Directed by Luc Besson, this 2025 adaptation is less a brooding gothic horror and more a syrupy, overblown romance masquerading as something deeper. Besson, known for The Fifth Element and Lucy, clearly decided his version of Dracula needed more swooning than terror. And sadly, that's exactly what he delivered. The cast is not lacking for names. Caleb Landry Jones plays Dracula / Prince Vlad. Zoe Blue, sometimes credited as Zoe Blue Seidel, doubles as Elisabetta / Mina. Christoph Waltz features too, in the rather odd role of a priest. There's also Matilda De Angelis as Maria, and Ewan's Abid as Jonathan Harker. And for good measure, Danny Elfman did the music. Now, quite frankly, Besson's take feels like a betrayal of Bram Stoker's original. The classic themes of obsession, dread, and the gothic menace of vampirism are thrown aside in favour of, well, a love story. Dracula isn't haunted and monstrous in the chilling way he should be. He's brooding, romantic, and eternally pining for his lost love. That's not Stoker's Dracula. That's a Victorian Registry Office advert for true love with fangs. Worse still, Besson has transposed much of the action to Paris, rather than the shadowy, remote castles of Transylvania or the grim fog of Victorian England. This feels like a deeply superficial choice, a glamorous city in fate, not a place of primal horror or ancient curse. Paris is all grand ballrooms and carousels, not exactly Dracula's natural habitat, and utterly at odds with the original's sense of dread and isolation. And about the main female lead, Zoe Bleu's Elisabetta / Mina. She's hardly the strong, resilient woman of the novel. Instead, she comes off as a starry-eyed teenager, completely manipulated by a perfume. Yes, you heard right. Dracula concocts a perfume to lure women, and she's apparently powerless in the face of its romantic seduction. It's pathetic, really. Not a woman of agency or courage, but someone who's swept off her feet like she's in some irrational teenage fantasy. Rather than resisting or thinking for herself, she just succumbs. Utterly dumb. The whole thing reeks of kitsch. The romance is overwrought, the visuals feel like a gothic photo novel, and it's also slick it loses any real emotional weight. Critics have moaned about cliches and problematic portrayals of women, and honestly, I can't disagree. If you go in expecting horror, you'll be disappointed. If you go in expecting tragedy, you'll probably roll your eyes at the melodrama. And if you're a purist who loves the ominous dread and psychological tension of Dracula, well, you'd be much better off skipping this and rereading the book.